Today we are going to be recreating classic pop art by Andy Warhol, the Campbell's Soup Can. We want to start with nice straight lines for the sides of our can. So to do this, I want you to find the 1.5 inch mark on your ruler. And we are going to just make a few little tick marks on the side of our page, 1.5 inches in. We're going to do that on both sides of our paper. So I'm making 3 little marks at the 1.5 inch on one side of my paper, and I'm going to do the same thing on the other. 1.5 inches every time. Should be between that 1 and 2. Now you're going to connect those little marks so that you get a nice straight parallel line with the side of your page. Make sure that you draw this very lightly so that you can erase if needed later. Now we're going to connect those 2 parallel lines with a curved line at the bottom and the top to create a cylinder shape. Again, draw light till you get it right. When you draw the curve at the top, you'll actually want to draw a full oval. Now we'll draw 2 more curved lines toward the top and bottom of our soup can. That will be the wrapper of the soup can, the paper. And I'm also drawing kind of the lip of the can around the bottom and the top. I see there's a line on the top of the wrapper, so I'm going to go ahead and draw that line in. And there's also a curved line right in the middle of our can that divides the 2 colors of the can. So I'm going to draw that in very lightly and the circle seal in the middle. Erase the line on the inside of the circle. And now we're ready to make those circular grooves that you find at the top of the soup can. So I'm just drawing ovals as I see them on the example picture. I also notice there's some shading on the top and bottom, the shiny parts of the can, so I'm just going to pencil those in real quick. Now we're ready for the lettering. Try to copy the letters, the font, as best you can. I'm going to go ahead and start with the simplest font, where it says condensed, and I'm going to write that as neatly as I can above the circle. Next, I notice there's some decorative elements at the bottom of the can under the word soup, so I'm going to go ahead and add those in now. The next word I'm going to work on is the word soup towards the bottom, right above that decorative area. So I like to start by just doing nice, big capital letters. I'm not really too worried about the font, but I am leaving space so that I can add that later. Now I'm going around each letter and trying to copy the shape that I see in the original photo. Now for the twist. Instead of writing Campbell's, you are going to write your name. And I'd like if you could try to mimic that fancy cursive writing that Campbell's used. So for mine, I'm writing Peavy's condensed soup. You can use your first name or last name, whichever one you'd like, but just trying to kind of keep that same font. Just like with the word soup, I started with just basic cursive letters, and now I'm tracing around and highlighting some of those areas to make it more of a bold font. Last but not least, you get to name the kind of soup that you have. So instead of tomato soup, I would like for you to choose something that has meaning to you. So mine is going to be art soup. If you are a dancer, it could be dance soup. If you play football, it could be football soup. If you have a different idea, that is fine. Whatever word, whatever noun you think describes you or something that you like to do, you will be writing that in nice, bold, simple letters above the word soup. And now we're ready to trace all of this work with Sharpie. Make sure to take your time. And when you are finished tracing with Sharpie, if there's any of those pencil lines inside of your writing that you don't want anymore, or any extra lines that are still there, feel free to erase those when you're finished with the Sharpie. Don't forget to add in those pieces of shadow and highlights that you see along the can. That will make it look kind of shiny and more realistic. And the final step of our project will be to use watercolor paints to make your artwork colorful, because Andy Warhol loved color. So you will get to choose 4 colors of your choice and fill in your painting as you like.